What's going on, everybody? I got the man himself. I got Phil Pope on the phone with me. Phil, you there?
I'm certainly here.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming on the show, Joe. I truly appreciate it. Obviously, you know, we're going to do a pre-recording episode because the time difference. You know, I don't think me calling you at 1 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock our time would really make a good good interview in the middle of the night. So I want to say thanks for taking the time today and giving me a free chat with you. So I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate it.
No, thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. So, you know, I was talking to you offline. You know, you're telling me the weather seems to be a little bit good. So you looking forward to coming to Daytona? And what do you got? 2 weeks we're going to be going to Daytona?
Yeah, I think it's on the 11th I fly out. So, yeah, 2 weeks' time.
Man, what's
really
that?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy some of that sun and the fun. I mean, what do you have to say about coming to Daytona again? Because did you race the first two times they went to Daytona a couple years ago?
No, this will be my first trip to there. So I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things about it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. Dude, so, heck, man, Daytona is going to be a blast. If you know, Daytona is one of those sections. Like, you're familiar with Fort Lauderdale. You raced there last year, which we'll recap. But Daytona is the #1 equalizer when it comes to racing. It's never a dull moment. It's never flat. The tides are changing. The waves are always coming in. A sandbar can show up in the middle of the stretch in the front. You know, you never know what's going on. And I remember when I was in Fort Lauderdale last year watching you race, and you were handling the surf conditions pretty damn good. You know, you had that one spill. It looked like it hurt you pretty good, but you were charging the field, and it looked like it could have been a Brian Baldwin, an Eric Francis, a Phil Pope, and a McCluggage kind of battle the whole weekend. You know, but it always seems like there always be some kind of hunt that happens in the racing when you're in the hunt. You know, speaking of that, how was your recovery? You know, you good? I think you hurt ribs. Am I correct?
Yeah, I took a nasty off when I was leading, and yeah, I don't know if I cracked them, but I certainly took a bash on 2 of my ribs.
Man,
which I was finding it hard to breathe then in them conditions, but I just tried to battle on, and you know, we came across there, and that was exactly correct. I wanted to be on the hunt with Baldwin and Mac and Eric. So yeah, hopefully I'm much fitter now, so we can hopefully do it this time.
So, you know, talk about being fit. What have you been doing? Because obviously you're in the UK, you know, what are you doing in the off season? Do you guys still have racing going, or do you train? I know it gets cold and you really can't do much, but you know, give us a little insight of Phil Pope and what he does in the off season, preparing going into 2019 for the P1 Aquax series.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're correct there again. Is with the weather, we're pretty limited to what we can do because most of our lakes are frozen. So basically, it's just in the gym work. We do loads of gym work, and I have an SXR 1500 that
nice.
I try and get out on as much as possible.
Right.
I don't really tend to do a lot of runabout practicing, to be fair.
Okay.
I just try and do more just on the stand up.
Because that's the best cardio workout you could possibly ever have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fit you think you are. You jump on them things and you feel old all of a sudden.
So, you know, obviously we're talking about P1 because, you know, I told everybody on this show the next couple weeks we're going to talk about P1. I'm going to try to get some P1 racers on the show and see what their insights are. Like I said before, I appreciate coming on. And so, you know, obviously you're in the UK. You know, I know we talked offline, but let's give some listeners, what is your plan for the 2019 season? Are you committed to the full P1 series, and what team are you sponsored with and stuff like that, or are you just doing a solo run?
No, I'll be at every round this year. I've done a deal with Factory Riva Yamaha.
Nice.
They've offered me a great opportunity to come out there and ride alongside Brian Baldwin.
Nice.
So we will be the main A team out there, and yeah, so I'll be out there and supporting myself for Yamaha and Riva.
Well, you can't beat Riva, man. Riva's coming in there strong, and they always have a powerhouse. You know, you obviously got Broward Motorsports. They got a team too. So I'm super excited. Did you get a chance to look at the lineup for the Pro Series? Did you see all the entries in there? I mean, it looks like we're gonna have a stacked field for Daytona. You know, in your mind, you know, obviously we know Baldwin, we know McCluggage, we know Francis. You know, who else do you think is going to be in the contendants and kind of be a challenge you have to work your way through?
You can never rule out Aswar brothers.
Yeah, true.
They're super fast, and again, they're also on a separate team. Oh, I believe they're on a separate team this year with Dean's team.
Ah, I have to check in that.
So,
I didn't see that, but I believe you might be correct on that one.
Yeah, so there's going to be three good teams at the front, I think, and with Reva, Broward, and Dean's team. So I think these 3 teams alone are gonna set the pace.
So we've pretty much already got our top 10 riders. If you really think about it, at least our top, what is it? So you, Brian, Eric, McCluggage, Aswar Brothers, that's 6. So we got 6 riders right there that are already a top 10 contender. In the top 10 contenders.
Sure, and I also believe that Justin Farvin's going to be making an appearance to 2 or 3 of the rounds also. So
really? So did you just drop a sneaky bomb? And did you know some insight that I don't know?
It's on the website, so I don't think I've let anything out of the bag yet.
Well, maybe I need to do some better research, and I must have missed that one.
But yeah, Dustin will be partnering myself and Brian Baldwin.
Awesome. So give us a little insight of Phil Pope. Obviously UK. How long have you been in the sport of racing jet skis, and what started the whole drive, and how long?
I think my first ever competition race was seems a long time ago, 1995.
90s baby.
So yeah, I grew up.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I grew up at the good times at Havasu, and seeing Havasu when it was at its best.
Right.
So a long time ago.
So what were you racing? Your first race was in '95. Obviously you mentioned Havasu, but what were you racing? What you get into, and who and where?
I started on a stand-up and sport. I rode at Havasu on sport in '96.
Okay.
I actually won in '96.
Nice.
And then I went on to the 785 runabout.
Right.
And then into the 1200s. So yeah, I've rode every class at Havasu in pro.
Nice.
Which is pretty good.
Now, what about do you run the IGSBA European Tour at all?
I do, but I haven't the last 2 years because it's always clashed with a British P1 event. So unfortunately, last 2 years I've not been able to attend. But for this year, it looks really good, and we'll definitely be at the IGSBA European Tour this year.
I know I've seen some posts. I think they didn't have a race this weekend. I think they have a race in 2 weekends. Is that correct? Is that what they're hyping everything for?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think it's not for a while yet.
Okay.
Not until later on in.
Maybe they're just.
I think there is. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there is. We have a British championship in 2 weeks.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if that's what you may have seen somewhere, but no, there's certainly not a British for a few months. Yeah. Sorry, a European for a few months. Yeah.
So you talk about the British Championship. What's the racing like over there? Because obviously the weather limits you guys to a season of a certain time frame, but is it similar to how we do it over here in the States, or does it kind of have its own little thing? I mean, what's the turnout like? What's the biggest lineup out there?
The biggest lineup here in the UK is actually the two-stroke. The old two-stroke class. They just all the runabouts. Yeah, there's probably between 15, 16 on the line at every race.
Really?
This is our best lineup.
The two-stroke runabouts?
Yes, correct.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is a really good class. But yeah, I mean it runs just the same as what the IGSBA does in America. And we have some really good pilots over here, but unfortunately we don't have the sponsorship and the budget as what there is out in the States. So
I gotcha.
A lot of the good riders,
right?
Yeah, a lot of the good riders they ride for a couple of years and then that's their budget gone. Damn. I mean we've got some great riders come out here. Obviously, James Bushell and yeah, obviously he's still one of the fastest in the world, and I don't know if you remember Jordan Fielder.
I don't know the name.
No, he actually works for Blosian now. He was a fantastic stand-up rider, and
okay,
yeah, he was really good.
Right on. So, yeah. What about the British P1? Obviously, you're racing over here in the States. You said you're committed to it because obviously Riva and all that. So that's awesome. Is there any racing in the British you'll be able to do also?
Sure. There's I think we have three rounds over here now. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at planning to do. I'm going to try and plan to do the full American tour, the full British tour, and the full European tour.
Awesome, dude. So you got a full pack lined up of racing. And obviously, you know, with obviously you're racing Yamaha in both classes. Then what about the Euro Championship? Are you going to race the same boat?
It'll be the same It'll be the same boat, but not. Sorry, the boats will stop out in America, but I'll run a FX over here also.
Okay, so I was going to ask you then, what is the boat you guys are running this year? Are you guys sticking with the GP 1800s, or are you guys going to go with the new FXs?
No, we're going to run the new FXs this year.
Nice, nice. Now, I don't know if you got a chance. We had a race in Orlando the first part of the month, and we had Brian Baldwin there on the new FX with just a mild modifications, and his boat looks strong out there. So I'm super excited to see how these boats are going to handle and who's going to be on what and who's going to do what. So I'm excited. I mean, have you got any time on the new ski yet? Or you just, as soon as you fly over, you're going to be on one?
Yeah, I haven't had time even to put my leg over one yet. But
oh man,
I've got a lot of faith in Reva, and I've got even more faith in Jesus. He's put me and Brian a great package together, and yeah, super looking forward to it. And my whole trust is with them, and I'm sure they're going to give us the best package.
Well, I mean, we can't take it away from you either. I've seen you ride, you know, phenomenal riding, phenomenal figure, you know, your stance and everything like that. So the reality of the whole situation is, if you're a rider, a racer, it's all about who is the rider. And that's where it comes down to it. You can have the worst machine for somebody, but could be the best machine for a good rider. So generally it comes down to who's riding the ski. And if I can see the same outcome, minus the come off of the ski, and the same drive you had in Fort Lauderdale, I think this is going to be a real solid weekend and a long season of P1. I think there's going to be some good points changes in the leaderboard this year.
Oh, for sure. I hope I can push the top guys, and I think it's going to be a long, hard, drawn-out championship, this one. I think it could go anyway.
Right. I mean, the amateurs, I mean, I don't know if you follow the amateurs. It looks like the amateurs have they have a good list of great riders out there. You know, Fialo won it last year on points. And, you know, he looked strong, but he had some boat issues too. So, you know, the amateur class is coming up in the ranks too. Looks like they're going to be strong. And then the pro classes, I think it's going to be they have a huge entry already online. And I think more people are just going to sign up when they show up. So that first turn is going to be spectacular in my eyes.
Oh, it's going to be really good. And obviously we've got Chris Landis. He's obviously we're in a team.
And that's another good rider. You know, he's up and coming on the situations too. Phil, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sorry.
Can you hear me?
No, the phone broke out for a second. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose you. I was like, oh man, this is not going to be good.
No, I'm here.
So, you know, what is, you know, you've seen the tour. Obviously, Daytona, you've never been there. What is your next favorite stop, you know, on the tour so far you've seen for the season? Obviously, have you been to Pensacola before?
No, the only one I've been to is Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man, so you gotta, you know.
So this is all new. Yeah,
so
all these are new to me.
So this is gonna be super new. So you got Daytona, you'll have Pensacola, you're gonna have St. Pete, and you're gonna have Clearwater, and then Sarasota.
I think I did Sarasota.
Or you did?
I'm sure I did Sarasota also last year.
Yeah, that's the one where you have to launch at 10th Street, and it's like a 10-minute idle ride out, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So
I was out there last year for this one.
That's a brutal idle out, dude. That's one that's just gonna give you. It's like, wish they could do something better, but the way it's set up, man, they're doing the best they can with that situation. It's still a good turnout race there too.
Yeah, this was also a beautiful. Well, for what I see of it, it was beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's though I think Sarasota's got one of the best water. You know, South Lido and Siesta Key, they got really phenomenal water. You know, it's a really nice environment. So, I mean, between them and Clearwater is two of my favorite spots thus far. You know, and I'm from Fort Myers, so we're used to Fort Myers Beach. We're down there in Naples and all that stuff. So, you know,
I'm really looking forward to seeing all this.
So, I mean, are you gonna come solo, or are you gonna bring family, anything like that, or is this you flying over, being the rider, pilot, doing it, and then going back?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna be traveling alone, and I'll try and bring the family out, maybe to Fort Lauderdale. As I said, the family did come with me there, and they absolutely loved it. Right. But unfortunately, last year we was not out there long enough. So I'd like to try and bring them out there to that one and make a bit of a family holiday after it.
A nice little getaway vacay, right?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So Phil, going into something, we've had a good talk. You know, we talked about, you know, you've been in it since '95. You know, what brought you into P1? How's that one? You know, how did you get into P1? Was it British or American? Obviously, I think it started in British, so obviously you started there. Is that correct?
Yeah, the British was the first one I ever did. It was pretty much. I've always loved the open water, and we just don't get enough of it here because most of our racing's on is closed course and in lakes. And then, Lisa and the P1, they made this tour, and I went to it and just instantly loved it. And I actually took a Yamaha to the first round, which was my closed course boat.
Right.
And at this time, the whole field was just filled with Kawasaki's, the 310s.
Yep, the 310s, yep.
Yeah, and everybody was just laughing, or the 300s and 310s, yeah, and everyone was laughing at me going, why have you brought a Yamaha to these waters? And just, then, yeah, I think I was the first person to win a race on a Yamaha, the first person to win the weekend on a Yamaha, and then obviously the first person to win the overall tour on a Yamaha. So
nice.
That was
nice.
That was pretty good. So it sort of wiped the smile off all the Kawasaki faces.
They weren't laughing no more. But the
Exactly.
fact is, the Kawi can handle the surf conditions really good. But the Yamaha's got that power, boy, that reliability and the consistency.
Sure. Yeah. I think the Kawasaki just plays its part because of its weight.
Right. It's got a little more mass that kind of cuts through it. You can't
Sure.
see when you really can't see the scene I got, but I got a picture of you flying in the air. It was on your profile picture, and it's a solid picture of you on a boat flying through the air. You can just picture you racing with all this Cowies and you with the Yamaha just cutting through the surf and just making it happen. It's phenomenal. I like it.
Well, actually, from this picture, this was when Eric came over. Eric came over to the UK to do a couple of rounds, and
that was cool.
Yeah,
I was super stoked when Eric Francis went over there and raced that. That was awesome for him to go over there. He told me, he goes, it's a whole different world over there.
Yeah, we have some really, really gnarly conditioned waters, and and I think he enjoyed it. He actually did. I think we both come off the second race and we was all cut up and we had blood all from chins, and he said that's the hardest he's ever had to work in a race and not actually win the race.
Right.
So yeah, we had a really good weekend together.
And then so we can't forget this. Obviously, we're talking about Eric Francis, and now from what I was reading, we have Sophie Francis is the only pro female that's in your guys' mix. And she has been putting work in. You saw her last year. She was doing pretty good, had some issues with the boats. But, what is your outlook on her? Do you think she's going to be in the top 10 contender also?
Yeah, I've known Sophie for many years. I know her when she was a junior here in the UK. And, she's certainly worked hard. She's put her time in. You can see that from her pictures. And she's a good rider.
Right. Very smart.
Yeah, I think on the day she's going to be there. She's going to be pushing, and I think when a few of the older guys start to tire, she's just not, and she's going to just eat her way through the pack. And I think she'll be there. She'll be good.
I think I'm with you on that one. I think that her training this year, she's put, that's also a motivation for Eric too. Her training and her endurance and her stamina is going to be top notch going out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she's got the muscle to handle it because she's got a small figure, for the ski. So the ski usually manhandles, but I think now she's got the muscle tone and the strength to handle it and hang on to it the whole time. So that in itself, lightweight on a ski that's fast and endurance, I think she's going to be a really big threat for a lot of people. And some people are going to need to open their eyes and be careful because she's going to come when you guys least expect it.
Sure, and can you imagine the conversation at dinner time if she actually beats Eric?
What's funny is last in Fort Lauderdale, we're all sitting down talking, and we had Nathan Adams there. We had a bunch of guys. We had Dennis Mack and his wife, and Francis and his family and stuff like that. And we were all talking and having funny. And D-Mac was battling with Sophie the whole race in Fort Lauderdale because Sophie was just on him the whole time. And if it wasn't for her boat breaking down, she would have got him. And we were talking. I was like, "Yo, D-Mac, what do you think about Sophie getting around you?" And he's like, "Oh, So it would be very funny, but I think a lot of people wouldn't put it past it as, "Hey, I got beat by a girl." No, we got beat by someone that put their mind to it and trained hard to prove that they can do it. So it's one of those.
Sure.
It's one of those ones where you're gonna have a little salt on your shoulder, but you're gonna have a smile because at least you got beat by someone that truly put 110% into it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. She certainly put the hours in.
But we'll still rag on Francis. We're gonna still say, Eric, your wife beat you. Or Baldwin.
You never know.
Listen, you got all those guys. Baldwin, McCluggage, Francis, D-Mac, all of them. They all got that nice ego. If they get beat by Sophie, this is going to be one that will never let go.
And it's possible. Everything's possible.
Hey, you never know. That's the one thing I was going to ask you. You know, in P1, you never know what can happen in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Anything can happen on any given day. You know, and that's why I just go ahead with you.
Yeah, and it's just one wave. You just hit one wave wrong, and it can slow you down so much. And if she's just at a nice steady pace and she's consistent pace, oh yeah, she's going to hunt you down and she'll be gone.
Well, what about this? I mean, you've probably heard me say this, you know, on Facebook a couple times. It's how do you miss a giant red? How do you hit a giant red buoy? I've watched this so many times, and I understand the way the waves are, this and that. It's like, yo. And I'm going to ask you this. Is it not correct that if you're on a wide open track, you don't need to race the buoy like a closed course buoy? You can kind of sweep it and keep the momentum going. Am I correct? Yeah,
you are correct, but a lot of the closed course racers,
they get probably
they'll argue with you because as it goes in England, I've had so many warnings and they threaten to fine me because I actually touch every buoy. Every single buoy I'll try and touch, and nearly every photo you see from the UK, my ski on my helmet is touching the buoy. And yeah, I've had so many warnings because of this, because I've punctured so many, and they're so
I just don't get it. Like Francis does the same thing too, and he caught his visor right there in the front stretch of Fort Lauderdale. I thought it was going to break his neck off. And it's like, but I've seen people like Victor Nolan's done it, Radman's done it. You know, I've seen some good riders. It's like the buoy is a big magnet. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Come hug me. It's like a marshmallow man just grabs you and throws you in the buoy. It's like, man, stay away from the dang thing.
And they're so big. Like
they're big
from the beach. From the beach, they look big, but when you're hitting them at 70 miles an hour, they're really big.
And sometimes they don't even move. When you hit them dead on, they'll bounce you right off and really mess you up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
they're one big lump.
It's like, thump. Oh, we're swimming. What happened? But then the worst part about that is if you hit that buoy, you're in that buoy right there, and then you got all the racers coming by, and they don't see what's going on except a boat, and like, oh, no big deal. But then you're swimming in the middle of the turn. It's like, holy crap. You know, like Sean Hagen. You know, back a couple of years later, Sean Hagen married one and went through it almost. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's like, man. Or you know, the crazy part about the surf races is coming in on the shore like Fort Lauderdale. You knew that people were, McCluggage almost ate it. You know, you're getting ready to make that left-hand turn and make the front straight, and you got the rolling waves, and it can just kick you, and you're swimming and you're standing at the same time. It's like there's so many variables that a lot of people on the shore don't truly get what's going on out there. They just see a bunch of skis out there going around. They don't truly understand how much detail is in it.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure.
Well, Phil, you know, obviously, we've had some good moments. We've been on the show. We've been talking about 25 minutes. I really appreciate you taking the time and accepting my reach out to come on my show. It means a lot, and I'm proud to have you on, honored to have you on. I have a part where I usually give my guests a chance to talk and say what they want to say, give a shout out to some sponsors, or if they have anything they want to say, you know, the mic's yours, free to say whatever you like and give some shout outs.
No, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and thanks for getting in touch with me, and really want to just thank my sponsors who's put all this together for me. You know, Dave Bambus at Reva, he called out and gave me this opportunity, and I just want to thank him and Reva and everyone at Reva who's put the time in. Jesus for sure for spending every day making us fast and trying to put us a package together where hopefully this year we can do the business.
Right.
So yeah, to just all to them really.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're freaking proud to have you on. You're a great rider. You're a great personality. You're a spot-on image and a face that a true sponsor of Yamaha and Riva would love to have. And I know one thing's for sure. You're going to put 110 into it, and I can't wait to see you in Daytona. It's going to be a blast.
It sure is, and I can't wait to be there.
All right, brother. Well, we're going to sign off, man. I want to say thanks. I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I'll hit you up later.
No, thank you very
Holy crap, guys. So I apologize for that mishap, dude. I don't know what happened. As soon as I clicked stop streaming, the freaking video started playing. So Phil Pope, I want to give you my sincere apology for that, because I had it all set up to where it was going to work really good, and then I failed on my program. Some way, somehow, it got all mixed up. So huge, that was a great interview with Phil Pope. It was very exciting to talk to him, get a quick insight of where he came from, what he's been doing. You know, they got a lot of stuff going on in the UK also. And, you know, like, so what a great conversation. You know, I'm excited to see him for the full tour of P1, so that's going to be really great to see him on this, because he's not one to put aside. As we were talking, he's going to be one of those top 10 riders, you know, and bringing in Sophie Francis in the mix too. We have a huge top 10 lineup that is going to be one for the books, and it's not going to be, you know, nothing to put aside, because this season is going to be fulfilled with P1 Aquax. So I appreciate you guys, the ones that tuned back in. I know that the night was kind of slow and get going, and you know, the ones that came back on the show, huge shout out, dude. I appreciate you guys tuning in and checking it out. But you know, I wanted to give a shout out because there was a couple things. You know, Troy Snyder picking up a new FX show. Troy Snyder gonna be going out there with a P1, hooking up with McCluggage, Takista Broward Motorsports. So, you know, if you guys want to ride, you know who to hit up. Broward Motorsports. You got Chris McCluggage, you got Broward County, you got them all over the place. So, like the Mogo says, you gotta ride. So going into next weekend, we're going to talk to the Doc himself, Jason Lester, boy. The week of the race in Daytona, we're going to have Doc Lester on here. We're going to talk to him. Jet Ski Empire is going to have a huge thing that they're going to be going on, a 5-day free ride closed course event, which Jet Ski Empire is a sponsor in Australia. We're going to touch base on what that one's doing and what they're going to be talking and how that's going on. You know, maybe I'll get that Zoe herself. Maybe she'll get a little quick tidbit and get her to talk a little bit on that one also. And, you know, next week we're going to talk about the final things. I'll have some stuff lined up. We'll get some good stuff. We're going to have, like I said, we're going to have Dr. Lester on, Jason Lester. We're going to have him on. What we're going to do is we're going to have some good stuff going on. I'll make sure next week's show is going to be on point, because that's the week of Daytona P1 Aquax. We can't miss this, dude. So I want to say thanks, guys. You guys that tuned in, I really appreciate the fact that you guys held it on and making it happen. Nathan Adam, I'm going to see you in Fort Lauderdale, baby. Or not Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to see you in Daytona when you show your butt up there. That was a good dinner in Fort Lauderdale, but we were laughing our butts off. Anyways, I'm out, guys. Again, I want to say I really, truly appreciate you guys tuning in. The ones that are following, the ones that are staying on the back. You guys are the rocks. You're the all-stars. I apologize, Phil Pope. I really do apologize for this mishap. There was 2 shows going on. I got it situated, so it's your boy. I'm out. Thanks, guys.
Lester.